Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks so much for tuning in. This is CryptoVatsik. I would really appreciate it. Before we get started, if you hit the like button to support the channel, and if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future updates. As always, this is not financial advice. These are my opinions only. Let's get right into it. Okay, today I'm just going to cover a lot of different altcoins here. We're going to go over Bitcoin first, then we'll do Ethereum, Dot, Sol, Theta, Sushi, Atom. Just quick analysis, and we'll just go through my thoughts. Okay, so starting off with Bitcoin, I had this green area that was my buy zone I had marked out way while ago from this previous area of consolidation, obviously some sort of base that we had formed off of this macro low at this point. And so basically I'd said, that's definitely my target one area for accumulating in that area. And now just kind of zooming in on the 12-hour here. Yeah, we have looks like we've broken out of this downward trend line. Sure, I don't love using diagonals, but we do see a clear two tests on this trend with a breakout on the third attempt and a retest, back test of the trend line here with a bullish reaction. Still pinched now between the 100 and 200 EMAs. But all in all, we are still essentially only making lower highs, okay? So nothing to get too excited yet about. We have started to take up some of this inefficiency right here. Okay, so this big red candle, it's an inefficient balance in the price that we have started to take some out. We usually see around 75% of these candles get taken up though, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another little push to really take out a little bit more of that candle before potentially coming back down. So keep that in mind. But we've really only come up, I would say, even less than 50% of that candle so far. Now looking in a little bit closer here at what we're currently seeing, we did see a bit of a double top form here. Okay, so a bit of a top signal for the short term for sure. So we are starting to see that sell off. However, we do have a clear SR flip right here at this level around 20,100 and change. Okay, so we have flipped that now. That was previous resistance. We've broken that market structure. We made a higher high in comparison to this lower high. We've retested it. So now in theory, that is our area of support with our risk being at that low right there. Okay. And to be honest, this doesn't fully look like accumulation yet to me. It definitely looks like a form of consolidation. So yeah, we could see a push up from this consolidation, and then sweep some of these previous lows. But I wouldn't expect that to be a reversal of the bull market. When we just go back to previous accumulation areas, they take time to form out. And we see that here where we have a bottom, we don't breach the low, and then we have a nice push up. But even though we had this major push up, we still came all the way back down and tested near. And yeah, sure, we had the COVID crash, but we still came quite far down, right? So then we had our area of first accumulation, okay, that really pushed us up to this high. And then where did we get our reaccumulation, right? We kind of had our high here. We had a bunch of sell off from this move, okay, so we're selling off, COVID crash. But then really we ultimately had our reaccumulation in these areas here, right? So that to me is a sign that the bear market's over and we're headed to all-time highs. But we just haven't really seen this take place just yet, in my opinion. We just need time still, right? These things take time, and to me, just my honest opinion, doesn't look like that just yet. Okay, moving on to Ethereum now. I had this channel drawn out from a previous video and shared it lots on my Twitter as well, which, yeah, we have broken out of this downward channel now at this point, downward sloping channel here. We broke out of the upper band, okay, almost a retest of it, but really just ultimately retested that 200 moving average, and now starting to try and push up. We also regained, let's see here, the 50th percentile, I believe. So our fib here, okay, we regained that 50th percentile on the breakout of that channel, okay, so that was good to see. I like that because it's also just a key SR level that we had from multiple tests over here. Support, and then this was our breakdown here. Okay, that was our resistance for quite some time, and then now we've broken above that. So really nice to see. And ultimately, what I really liked as well is that in comparison to Bitcoin, Ethereum looked looked stronger. And ultimately we held this major SR here, right? So we basically had that ceiling here in this bullish consolidation, broke above with confidence and then came back down, and it's held true as support, slight deviation below, that's fine, with a nice reaction. Okay, so that to me was a very good sign. And ultimately, when you zoom out now, we're really just in a large range here, right? From our swing low to our swing high. Okay, we're playing around in this huge range. Okay, swing low or swing high, playing around the EQ, below it, above it, kind of thing. So, on a macro scale, we could see this take some time. We could play out within this range. I don't know if it breaks up. I don't know if it breaks down, but there could be some good scalping opportunities, between the EQ to the top of the range and bottom of the range and so forth in the meantime. All right, next we got Polkadot here on the daily. We really see the 100 EMA being very well respected heavily as resistance still. So for me, really, I would like to see us break above that in order to test these previous highs. However, I think that's going to be a difficult task. I think maybe Polkadot has some juice left in the tank on this move to come up into here. We got a nice market structure break right here from this lower high, made a higher high, nice retest. The only thing I don't love right now is that there's no real clear area of demand or support. We've got all these wicks breaching each other. And so, if you take a line somewhere in this area, it doesn't give you a clear invalidation, in my opinion. You've got this one here, these here, that one, and then down here, right? Unless you're taking it from here, this level that we were bouncing on and calling this a deviation and that a deviation, which you could do, that's fine, but that's one thing that doesn't sit too right with me at the moment. Let's zoom into the 4 hour quickly to see what we're doing a little bit. Lower time frame. So we are seeing the market structure still intact, which I do like to see, which I think we would have. That's why I think we'll have a little bit more juice left in the tank on this, right? Market structure basically being we are making higher lows, okay? Consistently higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and upward sloping bullish consolidation maybe for a blow off the top kind of thing. But ultimately, this is our invalidation right here, right? That's our clear previous low that we don't want to breach. So if we start coming down here and testing it, break below, then it's moves over in my opinion. So I do like seeing that market structure staying intact for now with a clear invalidation below. Okay, moving on to Solana now on the 12 hour, just as I mentioned previously, where we didn't have a clear level of support, this one we do. Clearly we've had our low here established. We came back down, retested it with a nice reaction. Okay, so very easy to identify. The origin of our previous breakdown is being swept right now, right here, okay? Again, with just a little bit more of this inefficient candle left sitting up here, right? So we could still see potentially come up to the 200 EMA here and possibly sweep this high before coming back down. But the EMA 100 on this one not being respected as much as Polkadot. We were chopping around it, right? So kind of just playing with it. So maybe you want to take the 200 EMA on Solana a bit more to significance. So we're chopping around again with it, deviated above here, right? So could come back down from this point, or you could target that 200 EMA or higher up against this high, to each their own. And then of course, if we breach that high, and we get above both these moving averages, I'd be targeting this local high then. But first, personally for me, I want to see us breach $34 right here, just over $34. Take it with a grain of salt. I would like us to breach that, and then we can start talking about these highs over here. This was just really a key SR level that we had broken out, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, right? So I would really like to see a flip of that level before talking about testing some of these highs. Okay, moving on to Theta, 12 hour here. Did not hit my buy zone. I had drawn this out in a video a while ago. I'll have to go and find it, but didn't actually touch it. So I think that's why I said ideal buy zone, because it was a little bit more aggressive on the aggressive side. If you were to take it from this consolidating area here, that's just how I got it, right? So same thing that I've done on all my other accumulation zones, just going back to that base, basically the breakout, right? Really the area that we had to break out of before the bull run started. All right, so that was that key area, and all the way down to the swing low, right? So that was my ideal buy zone, and we haven't got there yet. Doesn't mean it won't in the near future. This is only the second time recently here since the drop that we are testing the 200 EMA. Okay, so we've tested it once, so you got to assume it's going to be resistance again. We've just been sweeping these highs, okay, as we come up here on lower time frame. We've been sweeping these highs, right, with a sell-off. So you can even see, I'll zoom in a little bit in a second, but now we're up to that final high here, okay, of this overall descending channel, okay. Then we're at that now, at that point, the highest, okay, of them into supply, okay. So this is where people had supply that they're going to unload, or people are going to start to short in this area. So if we can break that though, if we can break this final high up here, then I would expect us to shoot right up into the next area here of that breakdown, filling in this inefficiency here. I think a bit more on the daily, it's inefficient, but anyways, point remains the same. Flip that level, possibly another short squeeze in the juice to test this overall high up here, okay? And what do I mean by the inefficiency here? So let's just go on the 4 hour, not inefficiency, sorry, sweeping these. Let me clean up the chart. Okay, so what do I mean by sweeping these highs, right? So basically we came up here, okay, sweeping this high, sell off, okay, then sweeping these highs, sell off, and then sweeping up here actually at this point, maybe this one, sell off, right? So that's what I'm saying. I want this one to be breached. I want to flip that and just continuation. A bit of a nice V reversal here on Theta though, I won't lie. On a macro scale here, relative strength is there, and it's nice to see. And ultimately on a macro scale, a lot of altcoins look like this. We made our low, chop, 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 maybe a little bit of relief, back down, chop, 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 and we're in this ceiling still, right? So if we start to push and break the local highs across the board on a lot of altcoins, there's major opportunity there to, even if this isn't the bottom, we come all the way back down, there's major opportunity in this area to make some serious gains off these lows, okay? Because we're going to come up, we are going to take up this inefficiency in here. And I know I've said that countless times in this video, but really all of them look the same. We had a previous base, bearish consolidation, breakdown, low, and then some sort of consolidation, accumulation, whatever, down here where a lot of coins look like this. And I think if we get a short squeeze, we could see something like Doge on a lot of different projects, okay? So just my thoughts on a macro scale. Okay, Sushi, we've got our ceiling here, okay, 2 equal highs. And you will see these ceilings in bear markets, right? You will see a ceiling that it just seems impossible to break above. And so that's why I'm kind of quite content with us coming back down further and just continuing this accumulation range into the future before eventually breaking up, because it just means we're powering up for the bull market, and this is accumulation, right? But what would worry me is if we obviously break these lows, right? We need to hold those lows, and I need to see that kind of accumulation range. So I'm okay with a ceiling here that seems forever to break above, because once we do, it just means it'll be that much more powerful. And obviously here, right, swept that high, sell off, swept that high, sell off, swept this high, selling off. If we can break this level, I'd have target 1, okay, target 2, somewhere up there, previous consolidation, and then origin the breakdown. Sorry, I've run out of time on this one, guys, to cover Atom, but if you go to my Twitter and check it out, you'll see my post there with a lot of technical analysis on a chart that I tweeted out. So go check it out, @CryptoVatsik on Twitter, and thanks so much for joining. Hopefully it was helpful. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.